So I apologize first. This isn't the greatest recording. And I don't want to wait like 20 more days to do this where I would have better lighting. I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles because my home is so hot that I can't take it anymore. And I had a lot of work to do. So I got a hotel room nearby, and here I am. It was the greatest decision I've made. I've decided I got a lot of work done. I had a lot of shows today, a live show. So we're just going to have to take this background that I got. I'm trying to get it so that it's at least decent, but whatever. It's more important than how I look is the story I'm about to tell. And I was trying to figure out which of my shows I want to tell it on because I have several shows where I tell about my life. One is 50 plus. The other one's A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. But I decided to put this on Extra Connections, one of my award nominated shows. And this is about connection and making connections. So I thought this was actually a perfect thought to do this. And so I'm sharing it with you. Before I start, of course, make sure you subscribe to the show, Extra Connections, wherever you are. My channel, JLJ Media on YouTube, and Extra Connections on Facebook. So I said in the title of this, I went to the Heartland. My allergies are kicking up right now a little bit. So I got a little, not crying or anything. I went to a very, very, very small town, literally in the Midwest, in Indiana. And before I even get to that part, I want to get to the reason why I went. We were like, why did you go there? The whole deal. And first of all, it turned out to be one of the best experiences I've had in a long time. And I made a lot of connections. There you go. So here I am in Los Angeles. If you just first watch this going, who am I? I'm James Lott Jr., CEO of JLJ Media and a Super Organizer LLC. I decided to, in the pandemic time, for almost 5 years ago, make this into, even though it was a company, make it into a network. And I started getting shows and started doing stuff. So I met a lot of people through that, and through those connections, what I'm doing, through those connections, started other stuff and connecting to other things, as in music, audio dramas, um, and a town called Clinton, Indiana. So one of the people that I met, and this was funny, it was on Craigslist of all places, right? Was a guy named Doug Hess, and I hired him as a voice work for my hit show, Miss Road. And he's one of the original members, and he plays Uncle Charlie. And we've done the show a couple of seasons with some specials. We started there, and then we expanded. And then Doug and I built a friendship, and then we expanded into books and music and audio dramas and shows. One of the shows he wanted to do was called Forgotten Hollywood. And he did that. And Forgotten Hollywood is one of my biggest, I mean, not even joking, one of my top two shows on my network, top two or three of all time. And consistently is one of my number one shows that it's released. It's no top 3 or 4 shows of the week, every single year. We're heading towards 300 episodes. It's a huge hit. But in the middle of all of that, I woke up a couple months ago and realized when I was doing my numbers and doing all my business, because I had a year or so, I was a caregiver for my mom and my aunts and my stepdad. It was a busy family year, so I wasn't fully immersed into my business. So I'm finally coming back into it. And I realized he has like 6 shows that were from him. And then we started doing these high school sports shows for a high school called South Vermillion High School. And I'm like, between those, a couple other things, and things he's been on, he's like on 14 or 15 of my shows on my network. I have over 85 shows on my network, 85 offerings. I'm like, so 15 out of 85, that's pretty good. He's on a number of shows. And also, many of his shows bring in money to my network. And I'm like, this Clinton, Indiana thing, and the shows are pretty successful. And so again, it's leading into other territory. So I'm called JLJ Media, and that's why we cover it's media. It's media. My mission has always been to help the underdog, to hire people who either are being ignored or want to get into the business. You can be novices, you can be seasoned veterans, doesn't matter. I'm here for you. I want to give you a chance. I'm a connector. I'm a starter. I'm known for being a starter. I always say I'm a certified life coach. I like to say I'm a confidence coach. I'm here to just you where other people would say, ugh, no, no, thank you. I'm like, why not? I've turned away some, I've fired a few. But for the most part, I'm really careful what I want on my network and who I'm with. Um, but I've trusted Doug, and rightly so, that he has gotten me into all these folks, and they're from Clinton, Indiana. So I was like, okay. I kind of was talking to him one day. We have our meetings and about stuff. Like, would it be funny if I came to Clinton, Indiana? Now, mind you, I have no idea where it is. I went to a map and it wasn't on there. I had to like keep opening the map bigger and bigger. So I was like, this is kind of crazy. There's Indianapolis, there's Terre Haute, there's Chicago up there, whatever. I'm like, I ain't seeing Clinton nowhere. But I heard about 4,000 people. It's a small town. I would probably say it's probably one of the smallest towns I've ever been to. So I'm like, okay, James, I've heard all kinds of strange things in some of these towns. So part of me was like, well, do I really want to do this? I started thinking about it. Like, should I try it? I mean, will I be safe? And to be very honest, will there be any black people? Or people of color? Should I go? Like, what's going on? I have no idea I'm walking into. It's very rural, which I don't mind. I love the countryside. I mean, everybody knows I love my plants. I wish I had a farm. Like, get me started on that. But I had some concerns, but I felt very strongly that if there are people on my network and I don't even know who they are, I want to know who they are. It's business 101. I want to be able to thank them for their hard work on their shows that I benefit from. I mean, they're getting benefits too, of course. But I want people to know that I'm thankful also that you have no problem associating. You should get to know me too. There should be a connection between us on some level. And I didn't want to do a Zoom. I mean, in the future that could happen, but I didn't want to do a Zoom. I just, to me, I'm old fashioned. I'm old. As I'm recording this, it's Grandparents' Day. So happy Grandparents' Day to my fellow grandparents. I'm a grandparent of 5. I'm old school. I like to meet people. I like, let's look you in the eye and talk to you, and let's talk about stuff. And that's what it was like more about for me than just going online or sending an email. So just more and more, I had some family stuff to take care of first, and then it became available to me that I could actually travel for a length of time. But it had to be a quick trip because I had other media stuff coming up also. So I had all this stuff coming up. Um, but I told Doug, I'm coming. I looked it up. It was not easy to get there in terms of like, it's not, I mean, I was able to get there, but just wasn't like, I'm flying from Los Angeles to Clinton, Indiana. That's happening. Or I'm flying to Terre Haute, or I'm flying to Indiana. It's not that easy from LA. It is not, but it's doable. People who know me know I'm fearless, and I will push forward through something, and I will figure it out. I've been to third world countries on my own. I've done things. I mean, I've done all kind of stuff where I'm like, I'll just figure it out. And so I figured it out, and I made it work in a way via Chicago, via Indianapolis. I ran it a way that I was like, I can make this work. So I made it work, and I was fine. I mean, I was excited. I booked the tickets. I looked for a hotel. No hotels came up for Clinton, Indiana. I'm like, where am I going to stay? I do because I got a hotel in Indianapolis. I wanted to see Indianapolis for a couple of days, and I was like, oh my god! And then Doug and his wife Misty said, "Stay with us." So now I'm like, okay, I'm staying with people I don't really know, in a home that I don't really know, in a place that I don't really know. Like it's just kind of, but I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm excited. I'm going to do it, and it's going to be all great and fine and dandy. And God watches over me. Say the protection psalm several times. I'll be fine. So the trip comes up. I'm actually excited. So I leave, like do much whatever. I get to Indianapolis and I was there for a day and a half and I did some sightseeing and did some stuff and had a good time. When Doug said, I'm coming to get you, he said it'll be about an hour or something like that. I was still fine, but it was like a half hour before he was supposed to arrive. I freaked out. All of a sudden I was like, what the F am I doing? Oh my God. I'm really this is happening. Indianapolis still felt like civilization or something. I don't know. It felt like I'm still in the city of sorts. I can still get out or whatever. Like now I'm being taken to the cornfields. Now, mind you, there are a lot of cornfields where I went. There was like no joke. But I freaked out for a minute. I had to call somebody to calm me down. I really did freak out for a minute. More just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Then I calmed down. Then I was waiting for Doug, and the first thing I said when Doug walked through the door, he looked taller than I thought he was going to be. That's the first time. Oh my god! And we hugged and met, and I was like, oh, and then it felt natural. All my fears went away. It felt natural. We made a connection. And then we had to drive, back to Clinton. But we did a couple of stops or whatever. So it was all good. Any nervousness I had just kind of went away. Um, we're talking, and it's so weird because this pandemic is so weird. Where I've worked with all these people, so we kind of know each other. But then when we meet in person, it's that awkward, like, but I know you, but I don't know you, or we're meeting. Like it's the weirdest thing. So we're doing that whole dance. After that happens, we get to Clinton and all that, and I meet Misty, who I love to pieces. Took to her really fast. Met the kid. So I mean, the moral of like the story was I pushed through whatever fear I had, or nervousness, and said, just do it. You live once, and my original mission still stood. I'm here to serve. I really want to meet these folks who are doing these podcasts and who are putting time and effort and who are associating with my network. They may not even know who I am. They may just know Doug and that's it. I mean, I wanted to get, and also I felt like too, I wanted to show people like Doug was working with somebody who they could trust, who's for real. I am Hollywood, I am whatever, but I'm also a down home person, and so I wanted people to meet that also. So, so I go to Clinton, Indiana. Just want to say that, like a little town, right? Their house was cute. The area I love farming. And some know that I have a farm and ag past. It's beautiful. It rained really hard, which we don't have in LA. There's thunder and lightning, which we don't have in LA. We just have earthquakes. And it was great. And I love that part. But I'll tell you, everybody that I met, and I can say this, I mean, at least to my face, everybody was great. Um, it's small town living is so different than a larger city, and you can really feel it that everybody has connections with each other. And I want to tell you, so Doug was like my handler because he was the conduit, he was the connector. So and I mean, I could only be there for a couple of days, so we were really packed. It was all jam packed. I wish I could have stayed longer. And that's now as I'm leaving, I wish I could have stayed longer. And next time I go back, I'll just stay longer. But literally, it was every person we encountered were nice. Regular folks, lots of laughs. I got to meet some of my hosts, not all of them, I got to meet some of them. Um, and each person I met was great. And and it was funny. I had conversations with them, and they had some questions, of course, and I answered them, and they were all related to the podcast that each does. And I'm a person who's like, if you want to try something, tell me what you want to try. And if it sounds like it works in line with what we're doing, sure, let's do it. And several of them had ideas. I'm like, well, yeah, let's totally do it. So we were connecting, and it showed that they were showing pride in what they were doing. And these sports podcasts, because in these folks in these some of these towns, sports is everything. And it starts from elementary, probably preschool, all the way up to college and pro, right? As we sit here, my Pittsburgh Steelers won today, so I'm very happy. But some of these towns, they're very much like Friday Night Lights, so it's all real. And so now that I've moved into the arena of high school sports podcasts, also did pitching for education podcasts at one of the colleges there. I'm like, I felt more and more a connection to them, the shows, my company, my arena, what my thoughts are, my mission is. Like, this really does work. It's JLJ media, so it's not like it's a certain type. It's like it's open to anything. And I get to hear from people who either listen or who do the podcast what this podcast means and to them. And I was also able to give them more information about their podcast, read some of the numbers and where it's coming from. And that was a wonderful connector, I think, also for us. So now they have a better picture of what their podcast does straight from my mouth. I got a picture of what they want out of their podcast straight from their mouth. That's a connection. I was just blown away. Again, just at the kindness, people were inviting me into their homes, inviting me food, whatever. People came out to meet me. And it was a busy weekend. I also had, I think, the Little Italy Festival, which is one of our other podcasts on the show. There was a busy week. There was that going on at the same time. Um, I really had the best time. I literally did not want to leave. And the lesson there is to people, I always say this, no matter what our backgrounds are or our cultures or ages, even sometimes, we kind of all want the same 4 or 5 things. Good food, good laughs, good home. I always say good sex if you're an adult, good sex. Relationships, good relationships, a good job. We all want the same stuff. We just do. We all want the same stuff. And I think, this was a lesson in that they seem to be open to me, and I was definitely open to them. And it actually became less of me and them. It became us. Think of it that way. By the end, I'm really saying goodbye to folks. And I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing them again. Oh my God, this is kind of crazy. I'm like they were so nice. And um and I just thought myself, Clinton, Indiana. We have a podcast called the Ernie Pyle World War II Museum. And it does well on our network. And we've had it for a couple of years now. I mean, we're heading towards almost 100 episodes of that. I finally got to go there. And the guy who was working it, he's like, I've never anybody so excited to come to this museum. I was excited because it was like, for several years, this podcast has been on my network. They pay me to have the show on the network like we do. And I promote the show, and I've told people about the place and try to get them. And so it's like I get to go for myself. So now I can actually stand. I mean, I could stand by before, but I can actually stand behind the podcast and say I've been to that museum. I'm not just talking about it or having a podcast about it. I can say, here's my experience. And actually, on that podcast, the next one, episode 59, it's me talking about my experience there. So you want more information about my experience there, Ernie Pyle World War II Museum podcast, audio and video version. coming. It comes out on Tuesdays. So it's always on Tuesdays. Um, it's that. But it was like I was there. So I was excited to say I can literally say, wait, I'm from LA. Like I'm from Inglewood. Like I'm here at this Dana, Indiana, amongst the cornfields, and I'm at the Ernie Pyle Museum. And I admire Ernie Pyle because I got to learn about him through our podcast. So it's just one of those things. It's like and now I have a personal touch and a personal connection. I'm jokingly calling it Clintonwood. From Inglewood to Clintonwood. I now am obsessed with Clinton, Indiana. I want to bring attention to it, for better or worse. I'll bring attention to it. I want to showcase all of our podcasts that are from there even more. I mean, I've been doing it always, but even more. But I literally have some hit podcasts from this town. Um, I want to expand it. I just want to like expand my reach. I want to, I'm learning for myself. The thing I learned for myself as a business person, you should always have heart in your business. And that's so there's nothing wrong with having heart. And I do. So I'm following my heart, but also my brain is saying this is a good idea. So I'm just going to continue investing in the folks in Clinton, Indiana, and see what comes out of it. You never know, and it's just a lesson of there are niches to be filled everywhere, and sometimes people are just waiting for someone to give them a chance. I mean, there have been folks in my life who've given me a chance and who always give me a chance and who see value in what I do and what I bring. And so I try to turn around and do the same thing. And so pay it forward, pass it forward. And so there are some really great folks in Clinton and surrounding cities around there, towns around there, that I want to showcase. And if they want to be involved, I would happily like to be involved with them. So this story is still being written. It's like that's like Natasha Bedingfield. Um, and this is I would say this is the beginning, but like some of these shows have been out for like a couple of years. So it's like it's still the beginning. We're still in the beginning. And I'm very excited to see what comes out of it. And I'm already thinking about my next trip back to Clinton because I know how to get there. I know where it is. Get not easy, but I know it can be done. Um, and trust me, folks, I'm working on some magazine pieces and press stuff. I'm gonna Clinton, get ready because I'm going to be talking about you guys a lot. And that's with two T's, LOTT. But that was my experience, and I thought what I really wanted to share. I really wanted to share. This is no frills, James Unplugged. I don't know. I don't have no fancy backgrounds or anything. I'm just like, and that's kind of the beauty of it all. There are people out there who want perfection and want everything to be perfect, and either they stuck and they never produce anything because they're stuck in that, or they put it all out and nobody cares. So my thing is sometimes that's nice and dandy and bells and whistles are great, but sometimes it's just good just to turn on the camera, pull my hair back in a ponytail, and just talk to you. Just say this is what happened because this was real life REAL and real life REL together, mixed together. Um, and like I said, there are people now that I've met that I can say I feel like I can trust, and they're really invested in JLJ Media. And to those I didn't meet at this trip, I reached out to them. I want to meet them at the next trip. I want to make sure I meet everyone who's um, a part of associated with my network. It's very important to me as CEO of JLJ Media. So here's like that's I'll end it here. I'll end it here. I don't want to ramble on, but this is life. You never know where life's going to take you. I'm always open to the universe and to God. I always say it's divine intervention. I just, he tells me where to go and I go. I'm here to serve and stay tuned. There's more stuff coming. And I would just encourage you out there too to just follow your heart, follow your mind. If there's something you want to do, try it. I mean, the worst is things can happen and it can not work out. but even then it could lead to something else that's wonderful. You know, I mean, like you just, I mean, everything's a lesson, but we should connect more with people that are not right next door to us. That's a lesson to you, is that venture out. Oh my goodness, venture out. And I'm telling you, I had the best pork chop at a place called the Co-op in Clayton, Indiana. I saw that pork chop and I was like, I'm not sure about it. I finished my plate clean. It was my favorite. So shout out to the Co-op. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me everywhere. If you're from anywhere and you're thinking about wanting to do a podcast or something, you want more information, you can send me an email at jharrisonlott@gmail.com or contact me underneath the video and I'll contact you, send me your emails or whatever. If you're in Clinton, Indiana, or I haven't talked to you, or you think about something, contact me or Doug Hess for more information about stuff. We're here, and that's it. I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.